All right, Chicago Hockey Radio post-game show. Justin Lynch and Tassos Kirkos here. And that was brutal. Hawks lose 5-2 to the Buffalo Sabres. The lowly Buffalo Sabres. And was it 5-2? It was 6-2.
6-2, that's
was
right.
The final,
yeah.
not 5-2. Jeez.
You 6 to see it.
Yeah, that was not fun. Alex Tuck gets a hat trick, and the Hawks make the Buffalo Sabres look like the best team in the National Hockey League once again, doing that to teams that they're probably more on par with than anything else. I don't know. I couldn't really bring myself to watch much of this hockey game after the first period. I don't know. And you're watching a much more exciting World Junior game right now.
Oh my gosh. Latvia just tied it up.
Did they really?
They
2-2?
really just did.
No
That's
way,
right,
dude.
2-2. But yeah,
They're
in terms of
outscoring
this Hawks,
Canada in the third period, 2-1.
That is hilarious. That is so funny. If Latvia beats Canada tonight, that would totally make up for whatever this Hawks game was. That was embarrassing. That was pitiful. I have absolutely nothing positive to take away from that game other than Bedsy point. That is it. Other than that, there's nothing good to take away from this game. 6-2 loss to the Sabres. You know what? I think this was probably karma because we spent a lot of last week shitting on the Sabres and they're losing 13 in a row, which they just broke that. And now all of a sudden they're on a winning streak in 2 blowouts in a row. They beat the Islanders 7-1, just beat us 6-2, and I don't know, maybe they got something cooking now. So yeah, maybe we were due for that. But yeah, I mean, it was really the first blowout of the season for the Blackhawks too. They lost by 4 goals. And I don't think any other game they've lost by more than 3 this season, if I'm not mistaken. So yeah, and it's a shame. Like, they did show spurts of a comeback in the third period. It was a 4-2 game at one point. Looked like maybe we had something going there, and yeah, that did not happen. There was absolutely nothing there. So yeah, very disappointing game for the Hawks, especially when you want to really be coming on strong this time of year, leading up to the Winter Classic. You just had a 3-day break. Some people would see that as an excuse. Everybody in the NHL had a 3-day break, so I don't really see that as an excuse for the Blackhawks. Yeah, pretty embarrassing. It's the Sabres, dude. It's like they're they're like the 31st place team. I mean, come on, dude. So yeah, very disappointing for the Hawks.
Awful. Really bad stuff. They got doubled up in shots. I mean, the shots were 35-17, so legitimately doubled up by the Buffalo Sabres in shots on net, which, you know, it is a statistic. You can take whatever you want from it, but I don't know where you want to start. I mean, I think Peter Mrazek wasn't good.
Oh, he was terrible.
He was awful.
4 goals on 7 shots. He allowed more goals than he saved. Yeah, since he's come back from injury, he has not looked like the Peter Mrazek that we've seen for most of the season. He's struggled. Soderblom, yeah, I know maybe he wanted to have one of those back, but otherwise, I thought 20 saves and 22 shots. I thought he gave the Hawks a chance, at least kind of stopped the bleeding there, allowed us to have a chance to come back, but it didn't happen. But yeah, I mean, we were having this debate about who to start in the Winter Classic. I think it's got to be Soderblom at this point.
I don't know how
really.
you give Peter Mrazek the start in the Winter Classic after that.
Right?
I don't know how you give him the start Sunday. Like, you don't give him the start Sunday against Dallas.
Yeah, I mean, we want to warm up our Soderblom, right? And it's like, yeah, I mean, it's funny. We're coming off this blowout loss, and now we get to play the Stars, so that'll be fun. We have one chance to get it right before the Winter Classic. I mean, it'd be nice to have at least a respectable game and go into that game with some sort of momentum, right? Because right now, this is not it. I mean, it's a shame because we just come off 3 straight wins. Now it's 3 straight losses. The Hawks on the road this season. I saw a stat on the broadcast. They're 1-9-1 in their last 11 games on the road. Now it's 1-10-1. They are really struggling on the road. It was the same deal last season when they lost 20 consecutive games or something like that. So I don't know what it is why this team plays so much better at home than the road, but it's something I got to work on. And yeah, also why we play so much worse against teams that are close to us in terms of skill level. It continues to baffle me. While a lot of things have improved under sorts and a lot has stayed the same as well, I think it's fair to say.
You know what I will say too is that is kind of a coaching issue of playing down to your opponents and only getting up for games against teams that, you know, whether it means something, whether it's like an original 6 kind of thing, or maybe it's like a contender is in town or something like that. When you don't go into Buffalo and take care of business against a Sabres team that I don't care that they beat the New York Islanders 7-1 the other day. Like, they're not turning a corner here. The Buffalo Sabres are arguably more of a mess than the Blackhawks right now. And I don't even know. I don't know. Is this Canada game going to OT right now?
Yeah, sorry, I keep looking away. This game is so intriguing.
Dude, I wish I had it on. I'm honestly really mad that they don't have. I saw some people complaining. I know people were complaining that these games aren't like on ESPN Plus or anything, that you can only catch it on the NHL Network. And that's like an IIHF issue. So I don't know. Like, they don't really put a bunch of IIHF games on ESPN from what I understand, but
Yeah, you'll
Yeah,
see some occasionally, but it's mostly NHL Network.
yeah.
But yeah, Hawks. It was the sleepy first period, dude. Like the Sabres put up 4 goals, and like they're pretty close to each other too. Like the Hawks have a hard time. It's been an issue all season where it's like things just pile on each other, right? Especially these last few weeks and these road games. It's like they
Hmm.
allow these quick goals in succession, not able to kind of rebound. Second period, they kind of locked in there. Maybe Sadi helped out a little bit there. Got a goal from Bertuzzi, and then we had a goal early in the third. A nice assist from Pat Maroon. It was a shot pass. I'm not sure if it was intentional or not. If it was, that was a beautiful play by him. Is it's a 4-2 game, right? It's like you look at this, the Hawks, 4-2 game with 15 minutes left in the third. Like we have a hockey game here, right? But no, then it just completely fizzles out. We have a power play. We don't score on that. And Alex Tuck scores a hat trick coming out of the box. So I think actually the hat trick was the last goal of the game, but still,
Hmm.
hat trick for Alex Tuck. Good for him, I guess. But yeah,
I
I mean,
like
just for
Alex Talk. I like Talk a lot, actually.
yeah, it
But
was a good piece in the trade for them, the Eichel trade. But yeah, Lafferty had an assist too. You knew he was going to do something. Apparently it's his first assist of the season. Look at the box score. But
wow,
yeah, for the Hawks, just such a disappointing effort, dude. Like you said, I mean, just get completely outshot, outplayed. The first period they had 2 shots on goal, two. I think they were both within the
jeez.
period too. It's like for most of that period they had nothing, no shots on goal. I think it took them 13 minutes to record a shot, and the Sabres had they just completely just. It was like there was no intensity, there was no urgency in the Hawks game today. It was like watching Sweden versus Kazakhstan. It was like two different teams out there. It was embarrassing, dude. Very embarrassing. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm trying to see who escaped. Dude, the only people that escaped getting a minus today, Nolan Allen, Seth Jones, a +1 on the day. How do you do,
He had a
Seth
goal.
Jones?
Yeah,
Yeah, I
fair
know, but
enough.
still the walk away from that game, a plus player, not the only plus player on the Blackhawks is crazy. And then Khrushchev, Reichel, Maroon were zeros. Did you see Pat Maroon brought Lucas Reichel to home with him to St. Louis for Christmas? I thought that was really cool.
That's such a good guy move. Any slander towards Pat Maroon that I maybe have directed, you can wipe that all away after seeing that. That is such a like those two have had such a good connection. He's done such a good job bringing him along. Been a great veteran mentor to him. I think a big part of Ryan Reichel's had a better season this year. So props to Pat Maroon there. Had an assist today too. Reichel had an assist too. So that's a positive, right? Not much positive to take away from this game, but that's pretty wholesome. Very very good at Pat Maroon. That's very cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, in
Um,
terms of the Hawks, yeah, Khrushchev finally gets back in, right? Because he scratched 4 games.
yep.
Actually, I thought he had an okay game. I thought the fourth line was maybe the Hawks' only consistent forward line today.
Mhm.
I think, like you said, they were zeros in the night. Khrushchev had a few shots. I thought probably playing pretty motivated, having missed 4 games, being scratched. He's had a rough season, but hopefully they can get together. That would be nice. I know he and Reichel have some chemistry, so hopefully they can build something there. But yeah, otherwise on the offense, I mean, Bertuzzi got a goal. He's been playing a lot better lately. Good to see. Hall
But
also had assists there.
do these goals for Bertuzzi, just to pause on him for a second, and
Yeah.
like this team as a whole, because this is like the second or third game now, I think recently that we've seen the Hawks like kind of out of it after the first period, and then they rally late with like a better
Yeah.
effort in the last 40, and they put a couple it was the
It's
Calgary
always
game.
it's
It was
always
the Calgary
Bertuzzi.
game. It was the Calgary game, and they were totally out of that hockey game, and then Bertuzzi puts up a couple, and I'm like, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Like you didn't score. You weren't impactful in the hockey game when the game mattered at all. And like, I don't know, man.
Bertuzzi's been the king of meaningless goals this season. To your
Yeah.
point, he gets a lot of goals late when we're already down. It's too late. Islanders game was an example of that too, when he had those 2 goals late with like a minute left. One with 8 seconds. So yeah, it'd be nice if he could score more like in close games when we're up, right, to pad the stats, get some insurance.
How about you
but-
start the scoring one night?
Yeah, no, that's a fair point. I'll actually be curious that because he has 11 goals, just tied for the lead on the Hawks. I'm curious how much of those goals have come when we're down the game versus up. I bet you it's very lopsided there.
I'll look into that
yeah.
for maybe Sunday's post game or Monday's show, but you
Yeah.
know, I would guarantee you 10 of his 11 goals are in the third period of hockey games this season.
I bet you that's probably a pretty good pretty good guess there. Jesus.
Which normally is like a good thing, right? Because like
Yeah.
it means you're clutch and you're, like when the game's down to the wire, how's this overtime looking right now? I'm so jealous.
My TV just paused for some reason, so now I'm not
Oh,
able to
no.
watch the game. So now I'm in the dark like you now. So
Oh,
I guess
no.
so I got nothing to go off of here. But yeah, in terms of this Hawks game too, like for the Sabres, like it seems like a lot of their young guns showed up today, right? And it's good for them, right? Byram had a good game. Zach Benson got them leading off right with that goal. Dylan Cousins, who's been in trade rumors, like we've been talking about him on the show, could he be a potential future Blackhawk there? I don't know. Maybe somebody the Hawks look at. I thought he had a pretty good audition today. Jack Quinn had a goal and assist, so pretty much everybody you want to see if you're a Sabres fan. I think there's a lot of positives to take away on that side of it if we want to get into some Buffalo talk here. But things are finally looking up for them, right?
I mean, if you want to do Buffalo talk here for a second, like I still don't like they could beat the Hawks 6-2 all they want. I still have no idea what's going on there, Justin. Like what are you doing if you're Kevin Adams? Like, and we've talked about this a lot on the show. I know you mentioned it, but like, it's hard when you look at the team and it's like, okay, you have these pieces, right? Like this should work. UPL is a good goalie. Devin Levi's a superstar if you don't ruin him. The defense, you have a three-headed monster in Dahlin, Owen Power, and Bo Byram. I think Owen Power still has a lot to figure out at the NHL level. And is not even close to, and we kind of saw this with Dahlin too, a little bit where I think it was like his second or like he wasn't that good. And then
he had a bit of a drop off.
Yeah. And then he turned this corner and became, the Rasmus
Norris
Dahlin.
caliber defenseman. Yeah, for sure. And Power could definitely have that too. I think he's got a lot of, potential, high ceiling, but yeah, I think it's fair to say maybe a little underwhelming so far. Yeah. But like, some defense would take longer.
The depth is pathetic, honestly. Like, and we're talking about guys that like put up points on the Hawks today, but like, Beck Malenstein and, I don't know who some of these guys are, Lafferty's a good depth piece, I guess. Right. But would you say that was his first assist of the season? He's played 26 games. He has 1-1.
Of course, it's against the Blackhawks, his former team. That's so predictable, dude. That's just par for the course. Former Hawks, they step up when they play us.
Ryan McLeod, I don't think he's been good, and they traded. Oh, he's been all right, actually.
I still don't get that trade, though. I feel like Savoie, he's got such a decent ceiling as a prospect. I don't know. I know he's a good depth piece, McLeod, but no. I still question that trade, though. Yeah.
Yeah, but it's like you have two options here if you're Kevin Adams. One, you go out and acquire a veteran, or two, or three. Or two, you're fired and you won't see and be around and get the credit for it. Although you may get the credit from some writers and podcasters like us. But you won't get the credit for it for how good these guys are. Like the Yuri Kuliks and the Zach Bensons and the Paterka.
Yeah.
And you know what I mean? They're going to turn into superstars, and Buffalo will be good in 4 years or 5 years when they actually become grown men. And then Kevin Adams will be, I don't know, scouting somewhere.
How far away do you think this Buffalo team is yet? Because it's been such a long rebuild. Like, do you think they're close, or do you think that this is still something that's like you're years away potentially from getting back to the playoffs?
I thought it was closer, but the more hockey I watch, the more, I look at Ottawa and, that's been a team that's been figuring it out for so long, and I thought going into the season, I thought Buffalo had a better chance at taking the next step than Ottawa did, but I shouldn't have, because Ottawa went out and got Linus Ullmark, who won the Vezina 2 years ago. So, and UPL is good, but, Ullmark is good enough to steal you 2 points on a lot of nights, and UPL is not that good. He's good enough to keep you in games, but the Buffalo
He's not going to win you games.
Yeah, he's not going to win you games. And he's like our boy Arvid Soderblom, which I want to get to more later.
That's fair.
But so you look at Detroit, and we haven't even, we'll talk about probably Derek Lowe. I assume Derek Lalonde will be the entire NHL hour portion of Monday's show.
Yeah, how about that? Yeah, Todd McClellan taking over there. The revolving door of coaches continues.
But can you blame oh gosh, who did they fire? Derek Lalonde.
Yeah. I think that move was a long time coming. I'm surprised it didn't happen sooner, to be honest with you. I thought it happened before.
But look
Christmas.
At their goaltending, Justin.
Are you saying it's more of a team thing? Like this coaching change doesn't really solve the problem?
Yeah. I think it's McClellan is like a guy that'll like bring a spark to the team.
But he's not
like
going to solve their problems.
No, not when you got Ben Sherratt, Jeff Petrie, and Justin Hall on your back end.
Yeah, kind of like with the Hawks with us. Like we've seen sort of an initial bump, but it's like the team's playing better. But how much is that Sorensen? How much is that team like responding to a coach getting fired? Right? Yeah.
Yep. So
that's fair to say.
Yeah, I'm also sick today, and I thought Justin.
You're sick too?
I thought Lee was going to be doing this show today, so I'm kind of pressed about it. But I will be resting my voice and healing myself up over the next 2 days here. So because we have a very big week ahead,
Oh
Winter
yeah.
Classic week. So
We will be there. I'm excited for that. I wish I could be more excited, but this Hawks team's taking a little bit of the sting out of that. I really hope we get our shit together leading up to that for sure.
okay, so let's wrap on this game here. I mean, but like, were there any positives for you? I know you said Bedard point, but I think I'm like, I think I'm well past the point of like Connor Bedard getting a point in a hockey game, making up for watching 60 minutes of garbage.
That's fair. Yeah, I mean, besides Bedard, I would say, I mean, they did show like in a spurt there in the third period. I think the Hawks' third period play has been, like you said, like getting these late goals. Hawks have been stronger as the game goes along, but it's like these starts, man, has been an issue. Just allowing these goals in succession has been an issue. So honestly, besides the Bedard point, which that's a me thing, that's a B-Hawk Beams thing. And if I'm being honest here, like I don't really have any positives from this game. I think one Bedard assist isn't really that much of a positive, you know. I think he could have had more too. I thought he had 4 shots. Bedard had like a quarter of the Hawks shots today, so that's good. I'm glad he's shooting the puck more. But other than that, I'll be honest with you, I don't really have much positives from today. Soderblom was decent. He gave us at least a chance to come back. Like I know there's maybe one goal, the Tuck second goal. Maybe you'd like to have that back. I thought that was just kind of a nasty shot. But I think that's a positive. I think Soderblom's play has been a good thing. I think he's had really one bad game all season. And yeah, I think if you want to have the extended Soderblom talk, yeah, I think I mean, we kind of mentioned earlier.
Before we get to Soderblom, like you asked me how far away do I think the Buffalo Sabres are from winning, right?
Yeah.
Are you fixing your headphones? Because I can
Yeah, sorry, my bad.
Oh, you're good. You asked how far away I thought the Buffalo Sabres were from winning, and then I look at this Hawks team getting beat up by them, and the fact that you got Bedard and you got Nazar now finally playing with the big club, and Korchinski's been playing better. I don't like when they take him out of the lineup.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of that either. Like, if they play the guy, right?
Yeah. But like, you look at this guy and Bedard and you look at some of these teams that aren't winning, right? Like teams that are out of the playoffs, like the Buffalo Sabres. Justin, the Buffalo Sabres lineup is way more talented than the Blackhawks. Like it's not even freaking close, my guy. Like, I know Bedard is what he is, but we're talking Tage Thompson, Power, Dolly, the guys we listed, and they can't figure it out, right? And then you think of like the teams that are in contention, in true contention for the Stanley Cup, right? Like who are the 5, 6, 7 teams we talk about that like could actually go out there and win the whole damn thing this year, the whole big trophy, right?
Yeah.
And then you look at the Blackhawks, and I know you and Lee are like, hey, this is the last year that the draft is going to be a big deal. This is the last year
the draft sold on that.
Be I'm watching Gavin McKenna play, and I don't understand how you don't put everything on the line to go get this kid, because you're probably going to need him. Unless you're trading for Mitch Marner. Seriously. Like, unless you're trading for Mitch Marner or Elias Pettersson or somebody. I don't know.
Yeah,
But
I think for the Hawks, like the best case scenario this season, like is still stay like bottom 3, right? Get one of Hagen's, Misa, Bartone to complement Bedsy, and then add that big fish of free agency, whether it's Marner, Rantanen,
Can I
whoever.
interject though?
Yeah, sure.
Who are those guys? Are like, who do you think is going to play in the NHL next season?
I mean, to be honest, of those 3, even the first pick,
None
Hagen's.
of them.
I'm not. Yeah. So next season, that's why you got to go out for agency. I think, like you said, I'm totally on that train. I think the Hawks got to add somebody, big, not a minor piece, like a big piece of free agency to complement
And Tyler Bertuzzi.
Yeah, not Bertuzzi, not Tavo, not Nostalgia, like somebody big, like a Rantanen, like a Martyr, and it's like some people be worried with the payments. Like I don't care, man. We need to spend money this offseason, I think.
Yeah,
that's fair to say. We need to really start progressing next season. If you're not going to go into McKenna, like you said, like we got to make a big move. Yeah,
I think you have to be almost in on McKenna and like figuring out like a trade for somebody or something. You know what I mean? Like it's almost got to be both. I don't know. It's because Hagen's is probably going back. Hagen's is the most NHL draft ready player that I've been watching, except for Matthew Schaefer, which I know nobody wants to hear, but I think Schaefer's excellent, but I know nobody in Chicago wants to hear that. So if you're drafting Hagen's first overall or second overall or whoever, what if he goes back to BC next year, right?
He could. I think he can play in the NHL next season, but will he? I'm not sure. I do see a little bit. Somebody in my comments said he's like a Walmart version of Jack Hughes. Do you see that? I could kind of see it a little bit. I don't think he's Jack Hughes, but I could see some similarities in his game. Yeah, that'd be great for the Hawks if that was the case. Which, to be fair, I don't think the Hawks are going to get lucky again with the first pick. But if you're in that top 3, 4 range, like I think that's where you want to be. You got to be.
But if they win the lottery this year, can't they not win it the next year too?
That's the thing. Then they can't, because that's so you almost don't want to win the lottery this year. You almost want to get second or third. Let the team in front make that decision, because I don't think there's a clear-cut decision between Higgins, Misa, Bartone. Let the first team make that decision and still be in play for McKenna next year. At least have a chance at him, right?
I know it's the World Juniors, and like the one thing about the World Juniors is like you shouldn't base these kids' future off of a couple of games at the World Juniors.
But he looks damn good. He's been their best player.
Well, Schaefer looks. Porter Martone doesn't look great. He didn't. They got him like plugging away in like a fourth line right wings role, and I don't know. Like I don't love it. I don't love it.
Yeah, I think he'd be good like fit wise, but I'd probably take Higgins or Misa ahead of him. Yeah. I know Lee's really big on Porter Martone. But I like he's an intriguing player, like his size, like what he could be. And the Hawks, like you look at the forward lap, he could be like that power forward, that Hossa. But we'll see.
Yeah, I mean, man, I'm the one that's like turned this into draft talk. I mean, it's kind of hard.
I don't think any of us really want to talk about this Buffalo game, man. I think we almost want to pretend it didn't happen. That's how bad that game was. That was pretty brutal.
It was pathetic, honestly. I haven't seen that was definitely the most pathetic effort of the season in my mind.
Easily. Yeah, like most games when we lost, you couldn't really question this team's effort necessarily. Today, you could question the effort. I feel like it wasn't there. It feels like there was a hangover from the Christmas break. They weren't ready to go. They didn't have their legs. They just weren't so disconnected out there. And some of the passes, the turnovers, especially in the first period, it was pathetic. Like they just weren't ready to go.
Yeah, I mean, they weren't the only team that, like, the Leafs, I know the final
Red
score
Wings
was
got
5-2.
killed too.
Yeah, they crushed the Red Wings. And the Blue Jackets, did you see the Blue Jackets just absolutely manhandle the Boston Bruins?
I will say, there is something to be said for that. It seems like all the away games struggled today, because for some reason the NHL was like, oh, you gotta come in the flights today, right? So like you get there in the morning, an early flight in the morning. I'm not using that as an excuse for the Blackhawks performance today, but I think they had a 6 a.m. flight today, which is like, I don't know, why couldn't they just fly yesterday? Why is the NHL doing that?
Are you sure that that's true?
That's true. I heard that in the broadcast.
Okay.
They said that like teams weren't allowed to make their flights until like the mornings today. So and all the away teams struggled too. So I don't know if there's something to be said there. If that's just coincidence, but it's still, they had a morning skate. They had time, so I don't really see that as it's the NHL. Figure it out, right?
All right, let's do the Soderblom talk so we can wrap this up and call it until Sunday. I thought, I said this when Mrazek got hurt. And I've said this with a few different goalies around the NHL. I said this with UPL, actually. So, yes, I do think Toronto got in trouble for traveling on the 26th last year, too. So, I said this when Devin Levi was sent down for the first time this season. And I said, if you're Buffalo and you want to make the playoffs, give UPL a run of starts here.
Okay.
And they did, and they didn't, and they called up Devin Levi a few times, and they gave James Reimer a few starts in there. I said this when Mrazek got hurt. You got to give Arvid Soderblom a good run of games here to really see what you got, because the kid's been playing well, and there's no reason not to. And then, lo and behold, he wins, 3 games in a row. And what was the game? Oh, he had one stinker that wasn't good. I forgot who.
It was the first Islanders game.
Oh, yes. It was the first Islanders game.
That's it. Really.
But that was it. Yeah, that was it. And other than that, he's been really good. And, if he's your backup, like, shouldn't have today been a backup game and Sunday be the one that's like the starters game, right? I don't know.
It feels like it. Honestly, at this point, it feels like Soderblom has overtaken Peter in terms of the hierarchy of goalies. I feel like he should be the team starter at this point, not just the Winter Classic, but just in general. Make Soderblom the starter. And Mrazek, I think, when the time comes, and we've talked about this in the show with the Brossois situation. Yeah, I mean, he's got to go, or one of those two's got to go, because Soderblom could be our guy here. Yeah.
I just want to see what you got out of him. You know what I mean?
Play the guy. Play the guy.
Play him. Let him. What's his career? I mean, I don't want to say what's his career high in starts, because I'm pretty sure he made a lot last year. But
like 30 something probably.
Yeah, but who cares if you give him 30, 35 games again? You're gonna give him. At this point, I'm pretty sure we're never going to see Laurent Brossoit in a Blackhawks jersey. I don't think that's happening.
That's fair. Yeah.
What do they say? Like, the greatest indicator of future behavior is past behavior. Like, I don't think he's ever going to play for the Chicago Blackhawks.
They keep moving the goalposts. Yeah, I don't even know what his situation is health-wise.
So if that's the case, and it's Mrazek and Soderblom for the whole season, he's played 15 games so far. We're pretty close. We're closing in. Okay, so I guess he's on pace for 30 games, but
play 40, like half of them.
Yeah. Honestly, if he's playing this well, why wouldn't you play him 40 games? Like, he's still rocking a 9/11 save percentage. So,
and this Hawks team, that's pretty impressive. Yeah, that's That's not easy. I think he had a 900 in this game too. Like, so he gave us a shot, for sure.
He's one win away from getting a new career high too in wins.
Yeah,
So
if you look at his career record, it's pretty crazy. Like that's to say, that's pretty crazy. The just the difference from this season to last season. Like just he looks like a completely different goaltender. So props to him. He's young. He's still got time. I think he's 25 years old. So yeah, I mean, play the guy like a young goaltender should. You know, who's riding a hot hand.
yeah. All right. Anything else from this game? Anything else you took away or thought or felt?
Not really. Just that it was just like we've said, just a terrible effort all around. I would say I have more to say, but I feel like it would just be more of that, just repeating, oh, this sucked. So yeah, I don't really have much else. I'm sure we'll have more to say later about it. But yeah, hopefully it gets the stars, we get a response. I mean, that's 3 losses in a row now after 3 wins in a row. So that kind of sucks. Kind of takes the wind out of your sails a little bit. So hopefully we can get back on track here before the Winter Classic. Obviously a big week next week. We want that to be a good one. So yeah, hopefully a better performance on Sunday.
So this Canada Latvia game is in a shootout right now.
Oh wow.
And nobody has scored through 6 shooters.
Oh boy. I hope Latvia wins that so bad.
Oh my gosh.
That would be hilarious. I know it's funny. The U.S. dropped 10 on Germany last night, but a lot of Canadians make a big deal. Oh, how could you let Germany score 4 goals? So I think it'd be karma if they lost.
Trey
to
Augustine
Latvia.
didn't look very good, to be honest with you.
Yeah, it was a little shaky. Hopefully, because if he plays like that against a team like that, you're gonna struggle. So the U.S. are playing Latvia tomorrow. All of a sudden, I'm a little nervous for that matchup. The way they're playing Canada. Nah, I think they're probably like you said before we were on.
Yeah.
They're giving everything they got now, so the U.S. are probably gonna drop 10 on them tomorrow. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, Latvia. Dude, all these Canadian, Bradley Nadeau miss, Easton Cowan miss, Porter Martone miss, Gavin McKenna miss, Caden Price miss. But this is IHF, so you can circle back right after 5. So I would just give Gavin McKenna the puck and be like, all right.
I like that in a shootout when you just can play the same guy over and again, like Oshie in 2014 Olympics, a great moment. Jonathan Toews, the World Juniors 2007, another great moment of that.
Oh, such a great moment.
Yeah,
that's arguably one of the best World Junior moments, at least
it's
in
funny.
my childhood.
And he beat Patrick Kane that day too, so that was pretty funny. Two future Blackhawks against each other.
And you know, the deep cut of a player that he was up against in that game was Peter Mueller.
That's right.
Ripping pucks.
And Carey Price was in net for the Canadians too, so that's a pretty stacked lineup there. Yeah.
Oh, who is? Oh, it was Frazee, right? Wasn't that the U.S. guy that Taze? I don't know. Somebody's.
I could not tell you.
Around.
Yeah, I have no idea.
In the comments. Okay, I was waiting to see if maybe we'd get a final to this game beforehand, but I think they're gonna shoot in the shootout until forever here.
Are you sure? We could get a live reaction. I wish the game was on the background for me. I don't know why the feed stopped, but live reaction to the World Juniors Latvia Canada game.
Okay.
You think it's gonna break? You think it's gonna break the record?
Let me get the housekeeping. Break the record for what? Longest shootout in
longest,
IHF
yeah,
history?
longest, yeah, maybe.
Yeah,
I don't know what it
maybe.
is, but yeah.
Let me get all the housekeeping stuff in there while we're waiting. Please subscribe to this podcast, please. If you haven't already, or if this is your first time listening, please hit the subscribe button. Or if this is your first time watching. If you are just a video listener, or if you're just an audio listener, make sure to cross over. We've met people that say they're just audio listeners. We've met people that say they're just video listeners. We don't care how you consume Chicago Hockey Radio. We just want you to do the things that help us out. So subscribe, leave 5-star ratings on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. And Apple Podcasts lets you leave a nice little rating and review. You guys do that from time to time, and it warms our
makes
hearts.
our days.
Yeah,
we love that.
Warms our Grinch hearts over these holidays. And yeah.
How was your Christmas?
Yeah. Oh, it was good. It was good. I just hold on. Follow us on Instagram too. Yeah, follow us on Instagram. Means a lot. Tell friends. Yeah, this is a huge week for us. We're gonna do a bonus show the morning of the Winter Classic. We've got some in studio guests lined up. I will be working nonstop from now until next Sunday. So everybody gets a day off but Tassos. So how was my Christmas? My Christmas is good, except for getting sick and sounding like this at the very end of it. Thank you, Mom and Sister, for getting me sick, but that's okay. It was fun. It was really nice spending time with my family. How was yours?
It was very good. Very solid Christmas too. And Latvia just won. Latvia just upset Canada in the shootout. So yeah, that is pretty hilarious.
No shit. Eric
That's
Smitejko.
That's gotta be one of the upsets of all time, dude. Wow. Did Latvia upset Canada before? It was a long time ago. Wasn't it like the World Championships or something? I don't remember when that was.
That's unbelievable. I cannot believe that. That is probably one of the biggest World Junior upsets of all time.
Seriously, that is crazy, especially after yesterday. They looked so locked in against Finland, shut them out, and then you lose to Latvia. All of a sudden, for the U.S. man, don't repeat that. Make Canada look even worse tomorrow, right?
Oh my God. I
Oh,
mean, I don't know.
wow,
Wow.
that's
I don't
insane.
know. I don't even know really what to say other than I
I'm
just
sure we
missed a
both
really good
wish we got
hockey
to
game.
see it. Yeah,
Yeah.
no. That makes up for the Hawks game. That totally makes up for the Hawks game. I can go to sleep happy today.
Yeah.
No
That's
offense
super
to
cool.
Canada. No
Congrats to those
offense.
kids. You got like one drafted player on the team versus a team of like 15 first rounders and, the next one in, whatever.
You gotta love a good upset story like that. It's not really. It's less. I mean, yes, it's fun to watch Canada lose, but it's more so for Latvia's side of it, right? Nah, I'm just joking. I really want to see Canada lose. I'm rooting for their downfall as an American.
Yeah. Shout out Latvia. All right. That's it from us. We will be back Sunday. Justin's got the night off, but me and Lee will be back Sunday. Everybody subscribe, leave a 5-star rating review, follow us on Instagram, and tell a friend about this show. Send us a DM when you do. Say, hey, I told a friend about this show. And we'll say congratulations. All right. We'll be back Sunday after the Dallas Stars, and then a busy week of content ahead. So make sure you are all in and ready to go. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in. We'll see everybody Sunday.
Thank you.